Hello everyone, it's your favorite FGC VTuber here. So I don't think I've made a video about this before. Maybe I slightly touched on it about the whole skill-based matchmaking and cheaters, hackers, yada yada. But anyways, so the video, as you guys can see from the title, is this is actually a developer for skill-based matchmaking for Halo 1 and 2, and I believe 3 as well, or maybe just 2 and 3. But the statement in here says it all right. The ignorance here is infuriating, and I guess there's something. Games Writer wanting an even playing field in your online libraries isn't a skill issue. I didn't read the article, I don't know what it is, but just for those who don't know, skill-based matchmaking is a system that's implemented on a lot of modern Call of Duty games, actually almost everything, including in fighting games, where it tries its best to match you up with people of similar skill level. And a lot of the COD players fucking hate the shit out of it, and I've discussed what my personal thoughts. I mean, he can say it the best. Let me just go ahead and read this. See, I see the mention of skill-based matchmaking component. I designed it for Halo 2 and 3 on this site every so often. I guess they cite it, usually mentioned reverently, but then... Hold on, let me check that my audio is good. Okay, it's fine. But then there's an outlier of that jumps in to claim it can't work today. I disagree. So there are people that do acknowledge it apparently, but they're like, oh, it's not the same. And he's just destroying that notion as well. And let's go ahead and say, what I implemented cleanly divided the space into ranked and unranked matching playlist. Ranked filtered opponents based on level. This was for when you wanted competition, a competitive match. But even then, I intentionally allowed availability in the range levels we matched you with. This variability was a topic of hot debate internally during development. 20 years ago, obviously, no one wants to get stopped continuously. On the flip side, it gets dull for most people to continue to stop others. I agree with both sentiments, especially the stopping one. However, it is fun having the upper hand some of the time. By intentionally allowing a large range of skill levels to match together, we provide 3 experiences in ranked matches. An easier one where you can kick butt, a harder one where you can likely be outmatched, and an evenly matched one. My theory was that a good mix of these 3 was ideal. Yeah, no. Okay, so it seems like what I've always been thinking about skill-based matchmaking and how it should have worked in the whole place, and how you could argue Street Fighter works, actually. Why not always evenly match people, though? My reasoning was that these are actually the most stressful matches of the set. Absolutely. That's what's Call of Duty's biggest problem has a lot, and well, to be honest, the bigger problem is that COD players don't really want to have an even match, and I think with COD it's not as fun to have an even match like, say, Street Fighter, so that's another reason why skill-based matchmaking is a bit more of a problem there. It's overtuned. But anyways, they're the most fun to watch for spectators. Games come down to the wire. That's because the team that wins is the team that outperforms expectations. The failure of modern skill-based matchmaking, in my opinion, is that it is designed to maximize these perfect match scenarios and minimize the others when it's not working. A majority of games become super tight, super stressful. That's not fun for most players. Whereas the variability, I agree with that. A huge problem with Call of Duty is if you start doing even a wee bit too good, put you with people you have no business playing with. You're always fucking too tight. You start doing bad. It puts you with people that are just way too weak for no reason. But you have to like lose so much, it's crazy. But most of the time, like, you're either just getting wiped and it's tight, or you win and it's also tight. Like, it's a weird spectrum. But yeah, it's just a majority of games, yeah, it's just super stressful, right? The system that I designed for ranked playlist ensured a healthy mix. Sure, it sucks watching your favorite team get their butt kicked, but it comes full circle when they're the ones kicking butt. Throw in tight, evenly matches games every so often, and it's a ton of fun. Yep. I haven't even gone to unranked playlist yet. I designed those not to factor in skill level in search of opponents, something we've been saying. Mind you, he said that for ranked to let you... Yes, our engineers utilize the same code base and skep skills of search criteria, but substantially deprioritized it in matchmaking and prioritize ping and finding matches quickly. We also didn't track skill/level globally on per playlist. The net result was that unranked matchmaking allowed every wide range of skill levels to match together for what everyone agreed was a casual, inconsequential fun. Again, that's the way it should be, in my opinion. Since the natural skill level distribution of players follows a bell curve, there is an outlier in inherently low and high skill level players. Characterizing the high skill ones sweaty teens hopped on mustard is really disrespectful. Nah, they are sweaty. Segregating a high skill players from the population at large, forcing long wait times on them, is a form of discrimination. I mean, yeah, that's fine, but that's kind of what you sign up for. So designers should strive to find a way that players of all skill levels can have fun together. Casual, inconsequential, unranked matchmaking is one way. I dabbled with handicap setting, asymmetric game modes, designs, and others. Game dev should be taken the easy way default. Yeah, yada yada. So I agree with a lot of the statement. Of course, I correct some of these, but you know what? Even then, they actually did do a good job. It does suck that if you're a high-level player, that you do get fucked. I do think if you're doing too much, you should definitely get fucked, right? I mean, if you win enough, you're gonna eventually get paired people your level. You're gonna be tight, and then guess what? You're gonna lose. You'll go with people. But the way they did it is they didn't just set up entire teams full of just sweats. No, it was like, okay, yeah, but like if they couldn't find you a match that was even, it's like, fuck it, yeah, you lost. We'll put you with other people, but they won't put those, you know, 4 sweats in the same lobby. No, you get one sweat. Did you ever notice that in Call of Duty? You notice there's like always one that's always at the top, and then there's like maybe 2. Like you start to see that it's evenly spread out and it's on both sides of the team, and it switches around all the time. So even that minute population of sweats actually still does indeed get to play. And then guess what? They can engage. They can go against the noobs if they want to stomp them. The noobs can camp or do something to prevent the #1 sweat from getting them. Or they could 1v1 the random other sweat that they want to feel that they want to be try hard. You know, but a lot of this actually is extremely true for fighting games. Like I noticed this a lot actually, especially when you go to random search. Like if you start losing a lot, it'll pair you up with like a silver player, say if you're gold, but it will never pair you down lower than a silver. You know, and it does prioritize finding someone that is around your skill level primarily, right? And match and ping. And that's once you are ranked, right? Like once you do get you ranked. If not, it'll just put you with low and of course keep booing you. You know, it'll see enough times, right? But generally most people will at least dabble in with ranked once in a while. I say more so for fighting games. But yeah, no, and I think we can agree with a lot of what he's saying actually. You know, and my whole thing is like, you know, if you are a certain skill level, I mean, yeah, you are going to get a bit discriminated. It is what it is. Same with if you have really bad online. I think that one, #1, we could agree no one wants to play with that. But yeah, I mean, he's talking about how he's actually implemented it. And yeah, that's actually how skill-based matchmaking is for the most part. It's just modern skill-based matchmaking for COD specifically wants you to only play people of your skill level. Just straight up. They do not want no variety. And they don't even want other different levels of skill level players to be in the same lobby as you. It would compensate, actually. You have 1 sweat, 20, like 10 noobs and like 5 intermediates, bro, you're golden. But they don't even do that. It's crazy. But it's crazy to see, you know, that how he's actually talking about, and even when he does talk about it, even some of the sweats would definitely agree with a lot of what he's saying, right? And everyone's even like, yep. Halo matchmaking is undefeated, yada yada. But absolute OG and an expert on the subject. Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, no, that's all I really wanted to talk about. And believe it or not, Street Fighter 6 still does implement this to this day. And of course, if you can't find anybody, it's gonna find you someone else. It will prioritize. It won't focus too much on the skill. It will focus on finding you a match as quickly as possible. Like the only time I would say is like, I guess when a game is, the only time I would say is if finding, like if it knows that there's other players online, it'll wait for those matches to be over, so it doesn't pair you with, let's say, a bronze if you're gold. But let's say if a game is kind of like dead, almost like Street Fighter 5, how it is now. If you wait long enough and there is no other players, and it's like it'll probably pair you with like a bronze player, and that'll be like about it. Yeah, and maybe like a diamond player, because there's just so little of the player pool, and it will take a bit. But it's like, fuck it, we have to find you a match, right? But then there's also like custom lobbies, you know. So fighting games have a different way around that where you could choose. But more so again, specifically like ranked, and when you queue up for casual, just casual is just a more lenient version of ranked, really. That's all it is, honestly. And Street Fighter has this down to a T. I'm surprised Call of Duty isn't taking notes. And believe it or not, I honestly had a fuck ton of fun once I started just getting up a ranked, and I was content where I was, and then just playing a shit ton of casual. And I would notice those fluctuations. You know, I would almost never get someone, like, I would maybe get a platinum player once in a blue moon. Like, if I'm fucking clapping gold players and super gold, and it'll give me, like, platinum. But every now and then, even between, it would give me just, you know, a gold, like a regular gold. You know, but never like a silver, right? And going on the streak, it won't just give you consistently better players. They're like, oh, find someone, oh, that's around your skill level, a bit below, right, barely above. Oh, okay, cool. And then once you're doing good, it knows like, oh, fuck it, here's like a platinum, and then from there it'll like go back to like giving you a gold. It prioritizes you keeping you in the game, and I think that's what matters most, is finding matches fast. You know, no one wants to sit here and fucking wait. I think waiting for matches is far more annoying than, you know, some skill-based shit. Because at the end of the day, if you clap them fast, you'll find another match. If they clap you fast, you'll find another match. Yeah, but that's it. Just wanted to cover this topic of skill-based matching. I'm going to talk about other stuff before and booga booga. I might reference this video in itself on how skill-based matchmaking actually works. And there's other different ways to implement it in a little bit sense, but generally that is the way it's implemented for the most part. And of course, I mentioned what other things that he didn't mention, right, about mixing lobbies I seen in another situation. But yeah, hopefully you guys found this video informative, and to all the COD players who hate skill-based matchmaking, all they really want is just to have a lobby of scrubs, like all of them on their team, on the opposite team, and they're the only one who knows how to play. That's really what it is. They just have an ego, honestly. And they honestly just suck, low-key. They can't stand playing people who, you know, they don't play esports, but they're good enough, and they're just sweats, you know, they just naturally sweat, you know, fuck it. And then, of course, they have a hacking problem. They just have a huge ego problem. Just Call of Duty's toxic. But yeah, that's it. I'll catch you guys later. And remember, skills-based matchmaking is the shit. Just make it, you know, not be trash.